Okay, welcome guys. We're going to be doing compound interest today. So before we start, I'm just going to revise the basics. You've got a couple of basic terms. P or principal. R is rate. T is the time. And apart from these two, you've got I, interest, and A, which is the amount. So if you don't know this stuff, then you should really go back and read a little bit about simple interest. But I'm just going to write down the formula for that right here. It's P into R into T by 100. This is the formula for simple interest, and if you want the amount, then you're going to have to add P to this. So, there. So, okay? So, just to make it a little bit, this is interest. Now, the whole thing, this is the amount. Okay, but so now we're ready to get started on compound interest. So how simple interest works is that you start off, and then the interest that you collect is the same each year. On the other hand, in compound interest, how things work is this. Let's say you picked up an interest. Okay, so you had a principal at the beginning, P, R, T. And then you picked up an interest after the first year, okay? Interest I after the first year. So, for the second year, your principal will be P plus I, so the amount. For the second year, your principal will be P plus I. I'm just going to say that again. Rate stays the same, time is still going to be the same, only 1 year, but principal becomes P plus I. So let's write out a problem with this. I've been given that principal is, let's say, rupees 1,000. Rate is 5%, and time is 2 years. So how you may or may not know this, but how you'd start off solving this is, I'd say year 1, and I'd start solving. So my amount after year 1 would be, I'm just going to go back so I can see. Yeah, this is my formula, right? P into R into T by 100 plus P. That would give me the amount. So I'm going to do that. Let's say, what's my principal? It's 1,000 into 5 into... Remember, it's just 1 year. So although my total time period is 2 years, for year 1 it's just going to be a 1, okay? And then the 100, and then you add 1,000 to that. Okay? P R T by 100 plus P. Alright? Great. So now we'll start doing the math. I'll start it on the next page so it's clear. But I'll just do a little bit here. So basically, 1,000 divided by 100 is 10. So I'm just going to copy that onto my next page. A is equal to 10, let me go back, into 5, into 1. Okay. 10 into 5 plus 1,000. I'm just going to go back and make sure I've got everything. 10, 5, 1,000. Okay. And you'll notice that I didn't write the times 1 here because anything multiplied by 1 is just the number itself, so I didn't really need to write that. Okay. So, last step, solve this. 50 plus 1,000. Then the answer is rupees 1050. remember always to mention the units here it's rupees, okay? And make sure you have all the steps written down, so every math thing solved clearly. Okay, so that's year 1. Now I've got to figure out what it's going to be for year 2, so second year. Right, so my principal now is going to be, it's going to be 1050. And my rate is going to be the same. It's going to be 5%. And my time, you guys should know this, is going to be just a single year. So again, I'm going to go to the next page so we can do it. P is 1050, 1050 times 5, which is the rate, times 1, which is the time, divided by 100, plus 1050. Okay, so I'm going to divide here. 1050 is 105, and then this is 1, and this is 2. So you're going to get a decimal. 105 by 2 is 252.5 plus 1050. Okay, so the final answer is going to be, there's going to be a 0.5 at the end. 2 plus 0 is 2, 5 plus 5 is 10. 1102.5. Okay, now this seems a perfectly correct way to solve compound interest questions, but what if you had to say figure out the answer for 50 years? That would take way too long. So we have a formula to solve all this. Next page, here we go. So the formula for this is, I'm just going to write it down, the amount. Remember this, the formula does not give the interest, it gives you the amount. Principal times 1 plus rate by 100 raised to time. Okay. Again, remember, this gives you the amount. It does not give you the interest. To get the interest, you'd have to do P1 plus R by 100 divided by minus P. Okay, so now that we've got that clear, let's try to use the formula to figure this stuff out. So I'm going to take the exact same question that I had, that we solved using our year 1, year 2 method. So let's go. Principal is going to be 1000 again. Okay. Then rate is going to be 5% again. And time is going to be 2 years again. So our formula was, there you go, P1 plus R by 100 raised to the power of T. So 1000 times 1 plus 5 by 100 raised to 2. Okay, so I'm going to simplify this. 1000. 1, you have to make this an equivalent fraction, so 1 is just going to be 100 plus 5 by 100. That's because, I'm raised to 2, and that's because 1 is the same thing as 1 by 1, which is the same thing as 100 by 100. So yeah, I skipped a step there, because I didn't want to write it all over again, but yeah, replace this by 100 by 100, and add 5 by 100, you end up with, I'm going to now copy this also onto the next page. This is equal to 1000 times, now look back, 105 by 100. raised to the 2. Yep, okay. Every time you're doing this kind of thing, like, suppose you have a problem where you're not able to finish it on one page and you've got to turn the page and start continuing it there, always make sure that you've copied the right thing, because that's very important, and you're gonna really hate yourself if you lose a mark just because of some stupid mistake like this. So anyway, let's get down to the solving part. So this is, when I divide 100 by 5 you get 20, and 105 divided by 5 is 21. So that gives me 1000 times, now 21 square is 441, 20 square is 400. So yeah, the only reason I know this is because I've solved questions like these way too many times. So yeah, it really helps solving more questions. It's going to help all your mental math, and you're not going to spend extra minutes working it out on the side in your rough column. So yeah, I cannot stress how important it is to keep solving problems. Okay, anyway, now what we have to do is 1000 times 441 divided by 400. So start off with this. I divided 400 by 4 and 1000, sorry, I've divided 400 by 100 and 1000 by 100. So now I'm going to divide 4 by 2 and 10 by 5. So what comes next? 441 times 5. Okay, so that should give me 1 times 5 is 5, 4 times 5 is 20, 4 times 5 is 22. Yeah, and of course divide the whole thing by 2. So yeah, I think that's right. And the final answer that you're going to get is, remember the rupee sign, I'll start with that, 1, 1, 0, 2.5. Okay, so let's go back and check. This is my final answer. What did I do with the other idea using the year 1, year 2 method? I got, great, 1102.5. So I think we can say this is correct. So is this. Okay, so you should have understood the basics of compound interest by now. I recommend that you solve more questions for practice. If you have any questions, please just ask. Thanks.